Good morning. On today's show, we're heading to the biggest horse sale in the state of Idaho. But first, gotta feed our herd.
It's cold out here this morning. We got dumped on last night.
Go look at all these horses, and then we come home and we're like, oh my goodness, we got a good looking herd. Then over here we have the best looking pen of them all. I might be a little biased. I think he brush ya. We had his little faces shedding out funny. It's a rough time of year for you, huh? You can really see her halter scar from before we got her right now. That little mark on her nose is from someone putting a halter on her and just leaving it as she was growing. And it grew into her nose. Next up, going to see Miss Honey Bunny. Someone pointed out she has a bunny on her shoulder, one of her white marks. It even has a little eye. It looks like a bunny. So it's kind of funny. Only has like one big ear, but I'll show you. She's getting darker. She's getting so pretty. She was beautiful when we picked her up, but later this summer, when we get her all groomed up and her buckskin's all dark, she's going to be stunning. All right, we made it up here to the outdoor arena. The first thing up is the open performance. And then in an hour and 15 minutes, they have the trail horse competition. So I think they just kind of have a couple minutes to show off what their horses can do. So we're going to settle in and enjoy and start picking out horses.
Today there's an open performance, a trail horse competition, a rope horse performance, and then the sale. The open performance is just a way for people to showcase their horses. It's a freestyle type event. They can do whatever they feel showcases their horses the best. There's quite a few cow horses, outfitters horses, and roping horses here. This bay roan gelding is just a 6-year-old. He goes back to Dacolina breeding. He is super nice and really well broke. I like how soft this guy has him going, and for just a 6-year-old, it's pretty impressive. He's 15 hands tall. We have a couple friends that are looking for a horse here. I'm not sure they're interested in this horse, and I imagine he'll go pretty high. If I was looking for just a good all-around horse to have a lot of fun with, this would be one I would definitely consider. He even rides him around bridleless, which is pretty impressive. He still has a nice turnaround even without a bridle on. I firmly believe that a good horse is never a bad color. However, I do really like roans. They are up there as one of my favorite colors of horses. And the funny thing is, I've never owned a roan before. There are a couple Gypsy Vanner horses here. I've never owned a Gypsy Vanner horse, and I've never really even spent time around them. I know they come with a bit of maintenance with all that hair, but they do seem like they can be really nice, gentle horses. Do any of you have experience with Gypsy Vanners, and what are your thoughts on them? Let's hear that in the comments below. We have some fun ideas for the future, and we might consider a Gypsy Vanner as part of that. This guy's only a 5-year-old. He's 14.3 hands, but he weighs 1,300 pounds. For a couple of years, we've really been thinking about having some retreats. A friend of mine and I might start planning some women's retreats. My friend and I do have some good stock between the two of us, but it's fun to look at prices to get an idea of what it might cost if we ended up needing a couple more horses or mules for it in the future. It would be nice to have some big, drafty horses. That way it doesn't matter as much what size the riders are. Their long manes and tails and big fluffy feathers definitely make them very striking. Next up was a 2-year-old filly. As funny as it might sound, this gangly little plain bay 2-year-old filly is actually my favorite horse so far. For those of you that don't know, when I was in my 20s, I barrel raced an amateur rodeo. I really enjoyed it. as long as I was focusing on the horsemanship aspect. I really got into the bloodlines of barrel horses and studying those. This little horse right here is registered as a quarter horse but has a ton of thoroughbred influence. The barrel horse world and the racing horse world definitely have a lot of crossovers when it comes to bloodlines. This horse is bred really well with Chicks Beduino, Cartel breeding, Feature Mr. Jess, Dash for Cash, and a bunch more. If you're in the barrel horse world, you've probably heard of a lot of this breeding. This little filly was really well started. She was nice and calm and definitely had a lot of athletic ability. Although my focus has definitely shifted away from barrel racing, I can't help but be drawn to these horses still. I would love to purchase this filly, just turn her out, feed her, let her grow for a while, bring her back in when she's about 3.5 or so, and start putting some more rides on her then. I just had a special feeling about this girl and that she could really do something in the rodeo arena. Next up is this really flashy 5-year-old paint gelding. He's a blue roan Tobiano. He goes back to Smart Little Lena and Pepto Boone's Mall. Our friends were considering this horse, but he seems like he might be a little high-strung for what they're looking for. They mostly just want a trail ride and have something that's nice and safe. He's also 15-2 hands, which might be a bit too tall for what they're looking for. This horse is an absolutely gorgeous color though. He definitely isn't quite as well finished as the other young 5-year-olds we've been seeing. There are quite a few people in these bleachers though, and that's a lot to take in for young horses that haven't been hauled out a lot. Next up is another one of my favorite horses I've seen so far. This is a 4-year-old Gypsy Vanner gelding. His registered name is Dreamer's Farm Clyde, which I thought was funny. My mule's name is Clyde, so that's a great name. He's 15 hands tall. I really liked how easygoing and gentle this horse seemed. He just seemed to have a really kind disposition. You could tell he doesn't have a ton of experience, he's just a 4-year-old. But he tried really hard for this lady. I think he would be a great pick for our friends, and I definitely want to keep my eye on him and show them this horse later. They'll be arriving here later in the day. This guy is also up in the trail horse and the rope horse performance. I think for just a nice little trail riding gelding, this guy would be awesome. Next up, we have the trail horse competition. This event is exactly the same as the trail mule competition that we watched yesterday, just for horses today. If you guys missed that video, you can go back and check it out on our channel. There were some gorgeous mules, and the top dollar mule sold for $34,000. Our friends who are interested in purchasing one of these horses just made it so they'll be able to watch the trail course. We'll run over and meet up with them after the trail course is over. The 4-year-old Gypsy Vanner gelding that I really like is one of the first ones up. I texted our friends and told them to keep an eye out for this horse to see if it's something they would be interested in. He crosses the bridges, no issue. Going over to the mailbox and getting the mail out is no problem either. For just being a 4-year-old, I absolutely love the disposition of this horse. It reminds me so much of Mesa, which is our half-draft Percheron quarter horse cross filly. And I know they come with a lot of maintenance, but how cool are those feathery feet? I just love them. The thing I really like about this little horse is even when he seems a bit confused, he really tries hard. And he's able to keep his brain too, which is a big deal. He doesn't get flustered. The slicker is no issue. He seems pretty unflappable about things like this. With that forelock and mane, he kind of puts off some Rooster vibes. Rooster is my 4-year-old Mustang gelding. I watched this little horse yesterday practice this trail course, and he was pretty timid about this tire. But it looks like just running through it yesterday really got his confidence built, and he was able to step up on it no problem. He has no issue dragging this log. This log is extremely heavy. You can tell he probably hasn't dragged too much stuff before, but he's giving it a good try. It's always a lot of fun to go horse shopping for other people when you yourself can't purchase a horse at the moment. I have a lot of fun looking over horses for our friends. The other Gypsy Vanner makes his way in. This is the 5-year-old gelding. He is a really nice horse, but my guess is he's gonna go for quite a bit more than the bay gelding. He's pretty finished already. If you look closely at this guy's shafts, they are made out of skunks. We thought this was hilarious. They kind of match his horse though. I think this gelding is probably going to go out of our friend's budget. He is pretty stunning though. In this trail competition, everyone does a little reining course at the very end. They're judged on their leads, their transitions, and their stops and backups. This horse has a pretty good handle on him. He would be one that would be so awesome to buy for the retreats and other plans in the future. We better save up a lot of cash to buy one like this though, because he's not going to be cheap. As we search for a bigger property, we're not only keeping in mind areas to keep the Mustang gentling pens and places to bring home some mules from loose pen sales, but also the potential to keep a bigger herd so that way we can do retreats. It would be awesome to be next to some sort of public land where we could get a lease to ride out on that as well. This is the same trainer and rider that was on that bay roan that I really liked earlier. This gray horse is only 5 years old. He's 14.2 hands tall, but he has an impressive handle on him.
Well, honestly, there's a lot of horses that stand out here, but the ones that Alyssa and I are really interested in and watching the prices on are the draft cross horses. Alyssa would really like to do some like women's retreats or trail rides in the future, and I think draft crosses might be a really good fit for riders who may be a little more inexperienced or a little less experienced. But so we're keeping our eye on some draft crosses. There's some beautiful ones here that are really well broke. We're gonna see what those ones go for. But there was just one horse a guy was riding in here, just bridleless through the whole course, just flawless, absolutely awesome. So there's some nice horses here. We're having fun already, and we're just getting started.
There was a big Percheron cross gelding. This is the same cross as Mesa. He was a bit on the chunky side. He was one I wanted to look at just to see what he would go for. Big horses like this are what we would plan on getting if we did do some sort of trail rides. There are some big drafty Mustangs, and I would love to use those as well. You'd obviously have to make sure they were very gentle before putting anyone else on them. There are also some really nice draft cross mules, which would work great as well. After watching this horse lope around though, I think he was maybe a little too forward for what we would be looking for. I think he would take more of an experienced rider. He doesn't seem to have quite the mindset that I would like to get to keep people safe on trail rides. One of my favorite childhood movies was Hidalgo, so I can't help but be drawn to these Overo paints that look like him. There was this really big draft cross gelding. It didn't say what he was crossed with, but I'm assuming it's Belgian. He's a 6-year-old. It doesn't say how tall he is, but I'm guessing somewhere around 16 hands. He is a very handsome gelding, and I'm curious to see how much he's gonna go for. He drags this log like there's nothing even behind him. He is a big, powerful horse, but he's got a really nice disposition and he seems super chill. And he actually has a really nice lope for such a big, heavy draft cross gelding. It's always interesting to see all the shapes and colors of horses at these auctions. There's over 110 horses here. This color is called a perlino. This one was a bit more amped than the others, but it still made it through the course. Perlinos have those ice blue eyes. I've never personally been a huge fan of this color, but I know there's some people that think they're absolutely gorgeous. With the trail course wrapping up, it's time to go take a look at some of the horses in their pens before we head over for the roping. On the way over to find our friends, we ran into this cute little pony. This little girl was in the mounted shooting on this pony in our last video, if you guys remember. They did awesome.
These guys are big and pretty. From the Salese out of Montana.
This whole barn is filled full of horses. There's a couple big draft crosses from the Salese. They sold mules here yesterday. This horse had the most unusual colored eyes.
Look at your eyes. Yeah, wow.
Alright, if I had to choose either a horse or a mule, I would definitely choose a mule. But, that being said, it is fun to watch nice, athletic, powerful horses. So we're going to go watch a little roping, see what they got over there. Well, we missed it.
Missed it. Missed it by that much.
And we were about, 30 minutes late, and usually it goes for a couple hours, but not many ropers at this year's sale, apparently. So
To go get some food and done.
miss the rope horses, but that's all right. We're going to go look around and then get our seats and get ready for the auction.
We missed the roping, but we met up with our friends and they were looking at this little red roan quarter horse. This gelding is really well bred with Pepto-Bismol, dual pep, and smart little Lena on his papers. We did, however, notice a big lump under his jaw, and that was pretty concerning to me. My first thought was strangles, and if you guys know anything about that, it is highly contagious. It turns out that this horse did in fact have strangles not that long ago. The guy said the vet did clear the horse to come to the sale, but this is why we always quarantine horses when they come from a big sale like this. There was a super fancy blue roan gelding riding around, and look at the length of this horse's tail. It's braided and doubled back, and it still almost strikes the ground.
There's a lot of them. Oh, this one with his feathers. Hey, buddy. What's going on, huh?
Cat, 79 I like.
Where are you going? Oh. What do you see?
This horse was a really unique color. My friend has a Mustang that is almost exactly this color, and she's striking. I like the feathers and his mane. That's a good look. This big draft cross pinto was one our friends were looking at. We haven't seen him riding around much though, and he had some questionable swelling on his back leg. Here is a little closer look at that perlino horse and its ice blue eyes. Here's the big Percheron cross gelding that we watched earlier. He was extremely friendly, even though he was a little bit forward during the trail competition. The bay 4-year-old Gypsy Vanners gelding was out and about. This dad was looking at this horse for his little girl. He did great with this little girl riding him around. It was really cute.
I bet that's nice. You gotta almost have that in the wind.
I know, they're so cute.
This 4-year-old quarter horse gelding is highbrow cat bred. He's 14.2 hands tall. Our friends are really interested in this horse. I took one peek at him and noticed how big his jowls and how crusty his neck was, and asked how long he had been a stallion. Turns out he had been a stud until he was 3 years old. He actually has a couple colts on the ground now. Our friends are definitely considering him. He seems really laid back. He's got these really unusual markings on him. This is the horse that they really want to bid on, so they've set their max price, and if he goes for under that, they're going to try to take this horse home.
You gonna get what? I don't know what color. You need.
They are just best friends.
This is our friend's pointing griffon. He is also named Yeti. Our German wire hair pointer is named Yeti as well. This little mini Aussie belonged to one of the sellers here, but he definitely looks like a little mini version of Squirrel, who is our mini Aussie. This little pup was so cute. He's only 6 months old. As fun as it is to watch them play, we better go grab some seats.
Hey folks, the mules last night averaged 12,600 for an average mule.
Here is that 5-year-old bay roan gelding that we watched in the open performance. I really like this horse, and I'm so curious what he's going to go for.
Yeah. 75, no 8, 8, no 9, 10, yes or no, 24, sold out, $23,000, you got her, $23,000, number.
Next up was the cute little red roan pony.
6, now 7, 7,000, $7 over here, doesn't get no 8, no 8,000, 18, $18,000 over here, $18,000. 19.5, now 20. Don't lose them for 500. 20, now 21. 21. 21, yes or no? $21,000 over here. 21. Going once, $21,000 going twice. Sold out, $20,000. Lindsay Alexander.
Hey, let's give these girls a good hand. Thank you, thank you.
Jason and I both love bay and blue roan horses like this. This guy would, I think, be technically a bay roan since he does have brown on his muzzle, even though he is listed as a blue roan in the catalog. Last time I read how the horse was listed and didn't correct it, you guys made sure to correct me in the comments that it was actually a bay roan and not a blue roan. But on horses like this, the difference is very subtle. Blue roan horses would have all black points instead of this brown color on their muzzle and in their flanks.
8, now where? 8,000. 8, now 9. $9,000 over here to 9. 22, yes or no? 22, sold out. $21,000 right up there. Ralph, it's right your way. 21,000.
Next up was the big Percheron cross gelding.
All we're asking is $9,000. 9,000, 9,000. Thanks, Lindsay. 9,000. 9. Sold out. $8,000. Ralph, it's right your way. $8,000. 8,000.
There was this really pretty red roan pinto half draft cross that we somehow missed. This is a 6-year-old. He's 15 hands tall and weighs 1,400 pounds. We didn't really see him in any of the competitions today, and so somehow we totally missed this horse.
$18,000 over 18. All through 18.
He's a good one.
18. Sold out. 17,000 right up there. You got her right up there.
This guy is a finished roping horse, and he started going for quite a bit.
37. Hey, Brent, just give 37. Try and just ask a little bit more. 37. Try and here's a $50,000 gelding right
He
here.
is gentle and he is quiet.
37.
He's rolled horse.
36.5. Now 7, Jim. 37. 7. Now 8. 38. Over here to D. 38 over here to 38. All down, all through 38. Sold out. You got it right over here. $37,000. $37,000 right over here. Right there. 37,000.
Thanks, Tom Spencer.
And then it was time for the little 2-year-old to come in. We are not in a position to get another horse right now, and also I don't have time to really dedicate to training a barrel horse or even hauling it to rodeos. So there's no way we're actually going to bid on this horse, but I have to say it was really hard to watch it sell. There's part of me that still thinks it would be really fun to try to make it into the pro rodeo circuit with barrel racing.
Look at 5,000. $5,000. You're out worrying another 5. 45. Now 5, Jay. I got 45. Now 5. Now 55. 55. Now $6,000 over now. 65. Now 7. Now $7,000 over now. 7,000. Just a 2-year-old. $7,000 over now.
Best bred mare in the sale.
$7,000 over. Yes or no? 7,000. 7. Now 75. Lindsay over here. Now 75. 75. $7,500 over here. Now 75. $100 over and going once. 75. Going twice. 75. Sold out. $7,000 right over here. Stay Wiley your way. $7,000. Goodbye.
324. 324. Thank you, sir.
I couldn't help but feel pretty bummed watching that little 2-year-old walk out. But next up is our favorite of the half draft horses here. This is the one that I think might be a Belgian cross.
$21,000 over that. Now 2. $22,000 over that. Now 3. Now $3,000 over here to 3. 23. 26. $26,000 all down, all through. $26,000 over here to 6. Going once. 26 going twice. Sold out. $25,000 right over here. You got her $25,000. Thank you.
Up next was our Hidalgo look-alike. I think this horse was just kind of jigging, but for a second I wasn't sure if it was totally sound.
17,000 dollars. JB was good. 17, all through. Sold out. $16,000. We got it right over here.
Then it was time for the blue roan paint to come in. This is the young horse that was pretty hot during the open performance. After watching this horse deal with the crowd, I'm glad that our friends didn't consider bidding on this horse. It's very young, and I'm sure with more experience it would probably be totally fine.
14. Now 15. We got 14 over here. 15. $15,000 over in that 50 now. 15. Sold out. $14,000 over here. 14.
Next up is a horse that we didn't see very much today, but this is a Percheron quarter horse cross. And if I had to guess, this is exactly what our girl Mesa is going to look like when she grows up. It was funny because Mesa has a little crescent moon on her forehead, and this horse had the exact same marking. Mesa is our Percheron quarter horse cross filly. She is just coming to. We won't even start riding her until next summer at the earliest. She's got a ton of growing to do. She'll probably be close to this size when she's fully grown. This gelding is 16 2 hands tall.
Where's that? 13,000 over another 12, 13, all through 13. Would you go 12.5? 13. 13,000 over another 13. One time. 13,000.
Regret it, man.
Sold out. 12,500.
This next horse is an 11-year-old 14 3-hand AQHA gelding. He's not only a finished head and healing horse, but he's also a finished NRHA reiner. He's won $53,000 in earnings so far.
42,000 over here. 42. Yeah. Now 3. 43. Sure, it hasn't cost you a dime yet with all the fun you had. 43. Sold out. $42,000 right over here.
42,000. Thank you, Tom Spencer and family. 377.
Then it was time for the little red roan cutting bred quarter horse colt that our friends were thinking about buying. But after the whole strangles thing, they got a bad vibe and they decided not to bid on this horse.
10, now 10.5. 10.5. Even that over in a 10.5 over in you better get my 10.5. 10.5. All down, all through 10.5. 10,500 going once. 10,500 going twice. Sold out. $10,000 over here. Keep your way. 10,000.
It is pouring down rain outside and it's getting a little bit hard to hear the auctioneer, but next up is the horse that our friends really want to bid on. Their max bid on this horse is going to be $10,000. He is a registered paint horse, even though he's a solid color minus the little weird spots that he's got. He's the highbrow cat-bred gelding. This horse's barn name is Happy and he stands 14.2 hands. He really is a pretty chill little horse, and he sounds like he would be great for them.
Pleasure to be around, 4 years old and registered, and he has the color, and he has a handle on him. Okay, 50.
Hey, now what are you gonna have? Who get 10,000? Let's go. 10. 10,000. I got 6. Now 7. Now 7. Now 8. Now 8. Now 9. Now 10. Now $10,000 over in that 10. Now 10. Now 11. Now 11. Now 12. Now $12,000 over in that 12. Now 13. Now 13. Now 14. Now 15. Now 15. $15,000 over in that 15. Now 16. $16,000 over in that 16. Now 16. $16,000 over in that 15. Now 16. Now 16, now 17, 17, now 18, $18,000, 18, now 18, $18,000 over 18, now 18, now 19, now you're all out, $19,000 over now, 19, you're out, 19. $19,000 over there. Mama, $19,000 over here. $18,000 over here to 19. Now 20. Now $20,000 over here to 20. $20,000 over there. $20,000 over here. Mama, 21. So about $20,000 way up high. $20,000. 207. Thank you.
They didn't get the 5-year-old highbrow cat gelding. That's a bummer, but there is this Gypsy Vanner gelding, and they did say that they really liked him. Again, their max bid is $10,000. We're going to see what this guy goes for.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your only chance on a Gypsy here today in Salmon, Idaho. Get on there. Name negative over negative over 20. I'm negative over negative over 20. Negative over 15 pounds. Name negative 10, 11, 12. And 13, 14, 15. Here negative over 15,000. I'm 14 on the net. 15. Name negative over negative $15,000. 16. Name negative internet's out there. 16,000. I'm negative over negative 16,000. Negative over negative $16,000. I'm 15, 16. Negative over negative 17,000. Negative over negative 17,000. Sold the horse 16.5. 16.5. Your way, Lindsay. Thank you, Jane.
Unfortunately, our friends were not able to take a horse home, but they'll still be looking. They've already got a 21-year-old mule, and they'd love to get another horse to trail ride and be buddies for their mule. So we'll keep our eyes open for them and hopefully find something that'll work perfect for them in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We're now full-time on YouTube, so we'll be bringing you a ton of horse and mule content in the future.